Hi. So the Culturegram activity is a great activity to do. I feel like what to do with teenagers between the ages of 13 to 18 from I feel like any race, ethnicity, or gender that really struggles with low self-esteem, and that could be due to having a lack of identity or really discovering who they are. And this can commonly be seen with teenagers or adolescents who suffer from depression. I would start off by introducing the activity and giving a brief explanation. So, for example, saying like, today we will be creating a culturegram. The purpose of this activity is to help me to get to know you better and possibly even give you a better insight on your own culture and your background and help to figure out how we got to where we are today. I would explain that this is an activity that can be helpful with a parent or guardian present if they want to provide their insight as well, and ask them if they would like to do it with them or by themselves. I would also let the client know that if they didn't feel comfortable answering a question or they didn't know an answer to the question, that it could be something we move away from and possibly go back to at another time. So within the Culturegram, I would first start off by family members, asking them like who they have the most contact with in their family or that they see more on a consistent daily basis, just to see who's present in the teenager's life. I would then move on to the reasons for relocation, just to see what brought them to Tucson, and if they've been to any other place beforehand. From there, I'd kind of get into the question of legal status, and I know that this is a kind of an uncomfortable question to ask. So I would obviously start off by saying, like, so this is a question that we ask, and to know that we'll still provide support and services regardless of the answer. And if it was something that they were comfortable answering, I would ask what their legal status is, still with the understanding that they would still be receiving services. So from there, I'd be talking to them about their time in the community, how long they've been in Tucson, and some of the stuff that they've learned since being here. From there, then we would go to the languages that are commonly spoken in the home and in the community, how they typically communicate with their family and friends, and if there's one language that they commonly speak or if there's multiple languages, just to kind of see what that looks like for the family and the client. From there, we would kind of go on to the health beliefs. The question that I would ask there is, what do they consider a healthy lifestyle looking like? And from there, probably asking a question of, if they have ever suffered from an injury or a sickness, where do they go? So I can see myself asking questions like that. From there, then we would get to kind of like the harder question of the impact of any trauma or crisis that they ever experienced. Now I can see this being a question that they may not be willing to answer right away. So of course, starting off, reminding them again that they don't have to answer it yet. It could be something that we go back to and learn from as the sessions move along. From there, discussing kind of the family's culture and seeing what they like to do together, if there's any common traditions that they celebrate, or if there's a specific holiday. I would ask them if they're comfortable sharing, if they practice any religions, just kind of get to knowing who they are and what they like to do together. From there, another kind of uncomfortable question, I would ask about the oppression and discrimination, if they've ever experienced any kind of negative experiences with racism or positive experiences, because I know that could be something that, depending on the person, can vary what that experience is like, and if they're, again, willing to share that with me. And that could be a question, too, that it will be expanded on as we get more comfortable with each other. And then finally, I would go into the client's, beliefs on education and how they feel about education, how they feel about going to school, and what they believe to be like a hardworking lifestyle. And then, of course, the final question being the family values. What are some of the values that they have at home? What are some of the expectations that they live by, or the rules that the parents have the client live by, and kind of stuff that they want to be able to pass on to maybe their family members as they continue to grow. So yeah, that's how I would typically do the activity with the client. I take it slow, just kind of go piece by piece with them, see how much we can fit into one session, and see if there's some of the questions that we may have to carry on throughout. But ultimately, maybe at the end, closer to discharge, we would have a full culturegram, and I think that would be pretty cool. So thank you.